You know, when we think about bias, we often picture something really loud and obvious. But what if it's more like a virus, something that spreads quietly, infecting the places we trust the most? In this explainer, we're going to dig into that exact idea, using the work of Dr. Shungu H. Magaza, who suggests we think about bias less as a character flaw and more like a social contagion. This quote right here, this is the key to the whole thing. A virus doesn't really care about your intentions, right? Its only job is to spread. And thinking about it that way completely reframes the conversation. It means bias doesn't just live with extremists. It actually finds a home in the familiar, the comfortable, the everyday. So, here's the crucial point. This isn't necessarily about conscious hatred. It's about what we absorb. Think about it. We pick up beliefs from little comments we hear growing up, from the things people don't say, from systems we're just told are the way things are. And over time, these biases get passed down and reinforced until they become so normal, we don't even see them anymore. Okay, so if bias acts like a virus, then how exactly does it get transmitted? You can't see it, of course, but it moves through society along some pretty specific pathways. So let's break down this transmission model. This model shows the spread happening through 4 interconnected vectors: our thoughts, our language, our behaviors, and our institutions. And notice how they all feed into each other. It creates this cycle that can be incredibly hard to break. It all starts right here, internally. Our thoughts are the very first place the virus takes hold. These are the beliefs we inherit, the assumptions that are just kind of running in the background of our minds. They're like the invisible blueprint for everything else that follows. And from our thoughts, it moves right into our language. Now, this isn't just about obvious slurs. It's also in the subtle jokes people tell, the coded phrases we might use, or even the topics we just choose to stay silent on. Language is a super powerful carrier for passing these norms and biases on to other people. Next up, it shows up in our behaviors. This is where the internal stuff becomes external. It could be a microaggression, an act of exclusion, or maybe a pattern of overlooking certain people again and again. These actions are the virus becoming physically active in the world, and they impact people directly. And finally, we have institutions. This is where the virus really goes systemic. Policies that look neutral on the surface can end up producing consistently unequal results, embedding bias right into the structure of our workplaces, our schools, and our governments. This is how it spreads on a massive scale. So we know how it spreads, but where does it thrive? Well, the most effective viruses, they hide in plain sight, right? In environments that we trust. So let's take a look at the most common hot zones for bias. The research points to 4 big ones: our families and friends, our group affiliations, those institutional systems we just talked about, and workplace culture. Each one is a potential breeding ground, really. But for the rest of this explainer, we're going to zoom in on the workplace. So many companies today look really diverse on the outside, but that can be super deceiving. The virus of bias can absolutely thrive just beneath the surface, creating an environment that looks healthy from a distance but feels, well, pretty toxic for a lot of people inside it. This slide gets to the heart of the problem. On the one hand, you've got what the company shows the world. You see diverse faces in the website and the brochures, but on the other hand, you have the internal reality. For a lot of employees, that feeling of belonging is selective, and psychological safety, which is just that feeling that you can be yourself without getting punished for it, is dangerously low. This is a classic symptom of the virus at work. And this brings us to this really crucial concept, selective belonging. It's that feeling, the one where you're technically in the room, but you're not really at the table. Your ideas get overlooked, your contributions aren't valued the same way, and you just can't bring your whole self to work. It's when diversity is just an aesthetic, not an actual reality. So what's the cure? How do we build up immunity to this thing? Well, the sources are clear. It doesn't start with some big grand plan or a brand new policy. Nope. It starts with something much more personal: awareness. And I think this quote just says it all. You can't fix a problem you can't even see. Real progress requires this moment of honest reflection, of looking at our own thoughts, our language, and our behaviors, and the systems we're a part of without getting defensive. Awareness isn't the finish line, but it is always, always the way in. So let's make this personal for a second. As you look at these 4 hot zones, family, workplace, institutions, and groups, which one feels the most familiar to you? Where have you seen this virus hiding in your own life? And you know what? Let's go one level deeper. Just think back. Where did your first ideas about people who were different from you actually come from? Which spaces and people shaped those ideas before you even had a say in it? Answering that honestly is a really powerful first step. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. This whole framework, this whole idea, it isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. A virus doesn't disappear because of denial or shame. It's about understanding how it's transmitted, how it mutates, so that we can actually get to a place of healing. And that healing, it always, always begins with honesty.